Hello everybody, I'm so excited to talk about social networks and social networking today. Did you know that I can correctly predict your weight, your happiness, and even your life expectancy by looking at people who are in your social network? Adam, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm praying, Professor Akar. I always pray before I go to sleep.
No, Adam, you should not sleep in this class. I have many exciting stories for you, such as the 6 degrees of separation, the Kevin Bacon number, and if you stick until the end, you can find out what happened to those teenagers who check Facebook 40 times a day.
Oh, really? Wow, great.
Let's get started. All right, let's get started. What's a social network? A social network is defined as a set of people connected by a set of social relationships. A map of a social network is a structure that shows distributions of the connections between the individuals or entity. In any given group, each member in a social network is called a node, and the invisible connections between these nodes are called time. If two nodes are strongly related to or frequently contact with each other, the relationship is called a strong tie. If the connection is loose, it's called a weak tie.
Professor Akar, I have one real Facebook account and one fake Facebook account. With the fake Facebook account, I comment on the real Facebook account. So is this a strong tie or weak tie relationship?
Adam, this is a very relevant question. Let's get back to the topic. Why do people join social networks? People join online social networks because these platforms are interactive and allow two-way communication. In the past, mass communication was one way, where the higher level authority disseminated the information and there was no feedback or no interaction between the sender and receiver. Now, with the help of online social networks, each member can interact with the information source, and also he or she can become an information source or even an influencer. There are many reasons why people want to join a social network, such as the need for survival, the need for belonging, or the need for social recognition. After social networking, we gain a sense of cohesion and a sense of belonging. By joining interest-focused social networks, we also fulfill our need for information and gain the sense of community. However, we also experience disinhibition and polarization in social networks. Our decisions are influenced by group dynamics and fall into more extreme ends by time.
Professor Akar, there's one more reason. I joined Facebook so that I can see all of my friends' birthdays. Without Facebook, I would have forgotten 90% of my friends, Professor Akar.
But you don't have any friends, Adam.
Oh, but I have imaginary friends.
Yes, I can imagine that. Okay, the network effect. The network effect means the larger the group that we belong to, the more potential benefits we get from the group. For example, compared to a small social networking platform, Facebook has many content creators, more people who can potentially be our followers, and more opportunities to get social recognition or financial benefits. Because of this reason, people get more dependent on bigger social networks. As the bigger the social network, the higher is the cost of leaving the platform. That is why many people who quit Facebook end up coming back not because they like Facebook, but because they cannot convince all of their existing connections to move to another platform. The network effect, known as Metcalfe's law, was introduced by Robert Metcalfe in the 1980s. He claimed that the value, the productivity, and the power of a social network always increase exponentially when a new member joins. For example, if there are 5 people in your network, the number of total connections in the group would be 10, which is 5 times 4, 5 minus 1 is 4, divided by 2 is 10. But if one more person joins, which is 20% increase in the numbers, the value of the network goes up by 50% because 5 times 6 divided by 2 is 15. So, because there can be so many new connections in the new group.
Professor Akar, for the term project, can I join the biggest group so that according to Metcalfe's law, the value of our group goes up exponentially?
Adam, in this case, the formula may not work for your group because you're a free rider and the last time you joined a big group, everyone got 0 because of you. You slowed everyone down.
Oh,
Okay, let's talk about the rules of social networks: size, density, and homogeneity. Small networks tend to be more homogeneous and denser, and large networks tend to be sparse and heterogeneous. For example, conservative social networks are usually very dense compared to Twitter, but obviously there are less opportunities to discover unique content, and the groupthink effects may support the extreme views in the group by time. Centralized, decentralized, and distributed networks. The networks that have one central node that control transactions are called centralized. If there are multiple nodes that act as a transaction point, then it's called decentralized. If there is zero central node and each network has an equal power and contribution to the system, it's called a distributed network. Today, the blockchain technology, or most of you know it as Bitcoin, is claimed to be a distributed network. Winner takes all or between centrality. Another rule in networks is connected platforms are usually dominated by one central node. This is related to betweenness centrality, which means the bigger a social network becomes, the less likely two central nodes can have equal power. The reason is people want to be connected by using the shortest path, and having one big central node makes these connections easier, faster, and more convenient for all the members. This law is also called the rule of winner takes all.
Professor Carr, Dad always says if laziness was an Olympic sport, you would always be the winner. So if the winner takes all, do I get all 3 medals or one big gold medal?
Oh, Adam, this is not about the Olympics. I'm talking about big social networks, and I'm saying that there cannot be so many similar sized clusters because the biggest clusters tend to grow geometrically. Anyways, let's get back to the topic. Today, many online services are dominated by one big player only. For example, Facebook dominates online social networks, Google dominates search engines, and eBay dominates auction sites, and so on. Even the internet, the World Wide Web, started as a decentralized and distributed network, but later became more centralized after the influence of mainstream browsers like Netscape or the Internet Explorer. In nature, there's a tendency to move from decentralized to centralization because if your group is very big, the cost of coordination and the cost of information exchange will be higher.
Okay, Professor, I have a question. So if there's always one big central node, how come the same person or the same leader or the same company doesn't control everything and sometimes we get new central figures?
Adam, this is a great question, which is quite rare because you usually ask questions that don't make much sense. Anyways, in nature, there is a tendency to move from decentralized to centralized. But if the groups are too centralized, there will be autocracy and monopoly. And people don't like this, and they start moving back to decentralized systems or less centralized systems. All right, let's continue. The power of weak nodes. A researcher named Mark Granovetter discovered in 1983 that you're more likely to get a job if you have many weak connections to different types of people compared to the candidates who have many close connections and close friends. He said the number of close friends with strong ties wouldn't be useful because your close connections are likely to know each other, meaning they cannot introduce you to a new opportunity that you don't know already about. 6 degrees of separation. In the 1960s, the famous psychologist Paul Milgram theorized that any two randomly selected people in the United States can be connected to each other by their friends, via friends or friends of friends. He asked people in Omaha, Nebraska to deliver a package to a stockbroker somewhere in Massachusetts that no one in Omaha knew about. By giving the package to someone who lived closer to Massachusetts and having that person give the package to someone who may know that stockbroker, the participants of the experiment eventually managed to get the package delivered to that person. Milgram repeated this experiment many times and found that on average the package was exchanged among 6 different people. He concluded that any two randomly picked people in the United States are actually separated by only 6 degrees or only 6 connections, and he called this the 6 degrees of separation in social network. The law of diminishing influence. A member's impact on a social network dissipates node by node. We have some influence on our first-degree connections, little influence on the second-degree connections, and very little influence on the third-degree connections.
Professor, this probably wouldn't apply to me. Because I'm a social media influencer, my posts go viral. I always go viral.
Oh, Adam. So the only time you went viral was you came to school without wearing a mask and you spread your germs. And everyone called you the influenza, not the influencer. How big is an average human social network? The size of a social network, Dunbar number 51550 rules. Robin Dunbar, a Scottish scientist, measured the size of groups formed by primates and concluded that the cortex size, the frontal area of your brain, determines the group size of animals. Animals with bigger brains can form larger groups because a larger cortex empowers them to remember other members of their pack and successfully communicate with the rest of the herd when predators attack or when hunting for food. Dunbar also analyzed human social networks by assessing Christmas cards people sent to their friends and family and found that Western societies, the average size of a social network is about 150 people. Our brains cannot successfully handle more than 150 people according to Dunbar. Paul Adams says the number of 150 is tricky because only 5 of these people are actual close friends. He said we usually belong to between 4 to 6 groups based on our life stages, shared experiences, and shared interests. When our life stages, careers, and hobbies change, the groups to which we belong to change as well. For instance, during early childhood, we would have a play group from our street, and then we would have groups in our elementary school or fraternity at college. Although the people we interact with change throughout our lives, there's always a rule of 5, 15, 50, 150, and 500. We all have an inner circle, which is only 5 people, a sympathy group for about 15 people, and our occasional contacts for 50 people, our typical network of 150 people, and weak ties and acquaintances for about 500 people.
Professor, this is probably not true because I have more than 500 friends on Facebook.
Adam, in my opinion, they're fake friends. How do you know they're real?
But I paid real money to get those. You join the lottery, and if you win, you can get so many new followers or new friends. And I paid the real money for that.
Adam, you may like this. There is also a Bacon number. The Bacon number refers to the degree of separation each actor and actress in Hollywood from Kevin Bacon. Since Kevin Bacon played in various movies with many different actors, it was observed that he could be connected to any actor or actress only a few nodes. For instance, Japanese actress Rinko Kikuchi's Bacon number is 2 because she starred with Jamie McBride in the movie Babel, and McBride in turn played with Kevin Bacon in Beauty Shop from 2005, thus making Kikuchi only 2 nodes away from Kevin Bacon. Let's talk about the results of social networks. While we join online social networks because of our biological needs, social networks may be addictive and have many downsides. Studies found that teenagers check their Facebook status more than 40 times a day and experience extreme anxiety. What is worse, it's reported that Facebook users tend to be fatter, have a higher credit card debt, and a lower credit card score. Sharing personal information naturally sparks cyberbullying as well. Today, 90% of American teenagers indicate that they witnessed someone bullying another person in social media.
Professor, I actually agree with you on this. I think kids are also getting selfish on social media nowadays.
Really? How do you know that?
Because if you look at their posts, they always post memes, meme all the time.
Adam, so far this was the worst joke that you made today, so can you just stop? Hopefully this video helped you understand social networks and social networking behavior. I hope to see you guys again. See you.
Yay, the class is over, yay!